Let's talk about emotions for a few moments. They are a incredibly important aspect of human life and something that we need to relate to correctly. And what I mean by this is you are not meant to be controlled by your emotions, at least not anymore. We are not simple animals without the ability to consciously interface with our experiences. And so, because of this ability, because of this awareness, it creates movement potential opportunity for us to do something more, something greater than the potential that might exist were we controlled by just our emotions. Human beings may have, the estimates range from 5 to 7 simple emotions. And so, these simple emotions mean that our responses, our way of experiencing and relating to the world is incredibly limited, despite the fact that we have great adaptive, contemplative, problem solving abilities and the capacity to choose intellectually. Freedom does not come from the mind, it comes from the lived experience. And that means that we need to have both awareness of our thoughts and our actions, but also those drives and emotions that might control us. And emotions do. A common saying, a common thing that we all sort of enjoy is someone validating our emotions. But this isn't correctly relating to our feelings. The idea that my feelings are valid shortchanges the relational process that we need to cultivate, which should foster our own self-awareness, our own self-directedness, our own purposefulness. So your emotions are valid in as much as you relate to them correctly, in as much as the information that you get from them can be utilized both to cultivate self-awareness and to choose who you might become. So let's take a simple example of anxiety. Let's say someone invites me out to dinner and I'm anxious because I'm worried about what I'm wearing. That anxiety isn't there to tell me that something is wrong. First and foremost, it's rising into awareness, so I will attend to it because it is internal. Because your life is you. Life is constantly directing us back. All your experiences are within you. And so life constantly circles us back to ourself so that we might use those experiences in our own self-creation, in the active process of living. So I experience that emotion of anxiety and I ask myself, is there something that I might need to be concerned about with my appearance? I'm aware that I'm anxious because I'm concerned about that. And so I look objectively, I look mindfully, I look rationally. Is there something that I need to be concerned with? The key component here is not as I am, but as I would want to become. I use that moment and ask, essentially through looking, if I want to become someone who is easier going, less concerned about my appearance, more focused on my own stability and internal process than what might clothe or cover that, then I can take that anxiety and I can consciously choose. I don't need to worry about that. Then I can release the emotion. The emotion has arisen. I have focused mindful awareness towards it. I have understood why it is arising and what it is compelling me to do, what its function is. I then choose. I choose who I am going to become. These little acts, these little choices are the very shift in our becoming. and the groundwork, ultimately, for our liberation. So practice these steps. Be rational. Focus on your emotions when they arise, especially if they're very intense or acute, especially if they are prolonged and painful. Approach that emotion so that you can understand why you're feeling that way, and then what is it trying to get me to do. It's from this choice that we create ourselves. Is that who I want to become? Or do I choose something else? So rational, emotional, analysis, and in the choosing, we liberate ourselves. You have to follow through with this. Life is meant to be lived. You don't change just by thinking things. You change by experiencing and existing and by being aware of the process.